you can't dive into much of her situation right now, but is there a message you want to get out to Courtney Vandersloot, considering Stewie walked off the court saying, we did this for Courtney, basically. So is there a message you want to get out to Sloot?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I mean, we're all in this together. She's a valuable teammate, and we love her and support her. And we look forward to when she's coming back. But for right now, she's just in our thoughts and prayers.
Sandy, how difficult is this tail end of this stretch with the 5 and 8, the back-to-back? I guess physically on this team, where do you think everyone's at right now?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's been a grind. Finished with the back-to-back. And it's more about, obviously Commissioner's Cup, what we had to put into just winning against Connecticut. There's a lot of effort and energy going into that, a lot of high minutes. But, in the end, we're professional basketball players and we have to get ready for the next game and we have to rely on our bench. And, we talked about consistency at the start of this Commissioner's Cup. And, for the most part, at least 2 quarters been really consistent, but I think we've played some really good basketball and hopefully we can finish this really grind of a week off, week and a half.
So Sabrina said something yesterday in post game about how a year ago she wasn't sure if the team would be able to beat Connecticut in the way that you all did yesterday, especially with the tight schedule. I guess, what are some reasons for that, do you think?
Experiences we've already faced. I mean, that's a part of growth, isn't it? We saw so many different things last year, and that's how you build deeper connections. If you continue to make a choice every day to show up and do your best and learn from our, areas we need to get better at. That's the lesson of the experience is always positive in the end, because we can lean into those experiences that we had together that helps us in year 2.
Right. And obviously, we told you about the USA news being leaked, but I'm just curious, what are the issues with the arguments that because someone wasn't selected or whatnot, that people won't watch women's basketball at the Olympics? So what are the issues with those types of arguments?
There is no issues. It's the Olympics. I mean, geez, doesn't get much better than that. Look, I'm super excited for our players that have got in it. And, obviously Stewie, that was a no-brainer anyway. But, Sabrina, she's earned this and she deserves it. And I'm excited for how she's going to continue to grow. And, I think it's the USA team. They've won 70 and lost 3 games. So, yeah, who do you kick out? That's tough decisions for their selection committee. I think every national team, I know I'll have tough decisions to make as well too. You can't keep everybody happy. You do what you think is best for the moment. And it's an Olympic Games. Everyone will get their opportunity.
Sandy, is the game today, you have some time off between now and then the Vegas game next weekend. How big is that to be able to rest, recover before a game that obviously has meaning to you guys for standings and obviously what happened last year in the playoffs?
Yeah, no, it's massive for us. When you look at it, you try to break down the season like, okay, Commissioner's Cup, but then we've got a few days to rest and make the trip out there. I think, Vegas haven't played many games in the Commissioner's Cup, so they're probably going to be playing a little bit more regularly than what we are. But, for us, it's like last year was last year. We've had motivation this year. It's not about Vegas. It's not about any other team. It's about the New York Liberty, how we can continue to grow each and every day. But, it'd be a great challenge for us because, we have to get through this team today who has nothing to lose, and they're the dangerous ones, regardless of our schedule. And then we'll focus on, Vegas, and then Phoenix are back healthy too. So, the opportunity for us to continue to grow.
Hey, Sandy. This will be the 3rd time you guys see the Mystics already. You saw Aaliyah Edwards' first game. What has stood out to you about her progression over, I guess we're a month in now or whatever this is?
I think with more opportunity, she's got more confidence and she's trusting herself out there, and her teammates trust her. She's a big body. She's only going to continue to get better and better. I think by playing internationally kind of helps her game as well. Being Canadian and having some really big games against the rest of the world. I think, she's pro ready and she's only going to get better and better.
You mentioned, playing your starters heavy minutes yesterday, knowing this is a back-to-back, but it's also a Commissioner's Cup game. Just how are you kind of balancing minutes, workloads, rotations? How are you approaching that heading into today?
They're not going to play 10 minutes in a row, I hope, if I'm doing my job well, but it's more go as hard as you can. and then let's get your quick rest there and, rely on our bench to bring the energy. I think that's critical for us, especially early in the game.
Coach, anybody you see as an X factor here for today? I know you have played a lot of games, but on your team specifically, like she needs to step up for
Who's
us
that,
today.
sorry? Oh,
Is there anybody you see as an X factor for this particular game?
Look, they all are. I mean, we're all in together and we're going to fight. We got to be a little gritty tonight and show our mental toughness as well. Not just, everyone's tired. Washington are 3 and 4 days. They just came off a back-to-back, had a day off in between. So, there's no excuses. It's a part of the schedule. So we have to be professionals and go out there and play to the best of our ability. But I just want everyone to bring the energy and the focus that's required to hopefully win this game.
Coach, 2 questions for you. First is just about Sabrina and how her defense has come along. What have you seen in that area in terms of improvements, or maybe something that we as a collective don't give her enough credit for?
Sabrina, like she's worked on that in the off season. That's something we talked about, just getting the quicker first and second step. And it's really just a commitment, where you have to be committed to playing defense. Yeah, she does so much for us on offensive end, but everyone has to play defense. Everyone has to be a part of offense to make really great teams. And Sabrina's committed to that. And she's doing her best out there. She's working hard. Sometimes when she doesn't work as hard, that's when she doesn't look as good. But when she's locked in and ready to go, she's a really good defender.
And then on Benaja and her ability, we talk so much about her defense, but her ability not just to score, but to create. The fact that she has 6 assists, especially when you're down a huge playmaker right now, like Sloot, just the way that she stepped up and shown different parts of her game.
I think there's always been a part of B's makeup as a player. Now there's just more opportunities to put the ball in her hands because she's, backing up at the point guard. And I think that's exciting for us. That's another layer that we can add to our team and how we play as we go down and face different opponents.
Sandy, when you look at, I guess the tight, like hectic stretch of games now, and then the sort of break going into the weekend, was there a point in your coaching career when you sort of felt like you had figured out the best way to navigate, I guess, one or the other of those stretches, let alone both back to back? And was there somebody who helped you kind of?
Yeah, no, I think through experience, you kind of navigate what's the best. Commissioner's Cup made it probably a little bit more different because we had to win. We wanted to win by as many points as we can. We do, obviously, that's kind of helped us now, but it's still about winning number one, but then head to head. But I think it's like these are professionals. They're in great physical shape, but just going by the eye test as well and making, the recovery, what the players, what's available to them. That helps and all that. And then it's the communication and seeing how they feel. And, but yeah, I've been in this situation a fair bit. I can remember back to the World Cup, we had 8 games in 10 days and that was crazy. But we found a way.
Hey, Sandy. I'm just curious how Sabrina taking on these more ball handling responsibilities while also keeping up her activity off the ball, if that latter part has made it easier to thrust kind of more of these ball handling opportunities onto her plate.
Yeah, I think she really worked on her physical conditioning in the off season. We talked about her speed, but she's conditioned because of the way that she moves, and she has to move. I mean, teams are trapping her. You saw the last game, they're trapping her early. Late in the game, what did we do? We had her out of movement. Everything was movement, nothing stationary. I think she makes really good decisions when she gets separation. It's a credit to the work that she put in the off season, and we know she's a great, she's a combo guard. She can play on the ball, she can play off the ball, and that's the luxury we have. I think the key thing when you take someone, Courtney, who's such a great facilitator and gets us into stuff, it was just, how do we work it out when we need her off the ball? And, we're lucky that we have B and Stewie's our next handler there.
Hey, Sandy. Since those 2 games where Jonquel dealt with some foul trouble, she's averaging 16 points, 9.6 rebounds, 1.8 blocks. How did you challenge her? Did she challenge herself with some of that after the physicality and the frustrations that we were seeing her face? Yeah,
look, I think this is all on JJ. This is what an experienced player does, and knowing, she has had more discipline where she can, let's read the situation and not get too frustrated. I talk about it all the time, and now you hear them saying it. Don't get too high and don't get too low. Control the controllables. And that's, just playing with the poise and knowing you should lean in your experience because we need her on the court. It helps. And you see she was massive for us in that last game, all over the court. But even when she was in foul trouble, she was still impactful for us in those games, even though she wasn't scoring.
Hey, Sandy in the back here. Just piggyback on the JJ question. A few weeks ago, Courtney talked about the team kind of working their way to incorporate JJ a little bit more because offense just seems to flow with her at the top and also dominating down low. How far along that, I guess, timeline do you feel like the team has more work to do to kind of incorporate JJ into the offense to really tap into how good the offense could be?
Yeah, look, I think we're getting there. We're still a work in progress. Sometimes we just miss her where we should just be seeing the whole floor. And where I say if she's open, you have to give her the ball on the block. As simple as that. Now she makes the decision out of it. But we really like her in pick and rolls and rolling. I think that's where she's really effective. As long as we're not, putting her in a crowd and throwing bounce passes. It's probably when she's least effective in that, but she can do it. But we've got to be smart how we're getting her the ball in those positions. So still learning in that because every game's a different challenge for us. We're not guarded the same every single game. So it's just being basketball players and making the best reads. And, I think last game we had 24 assists on 31 shots. That's how we play. We're a selfless team. If it's good to great. And some days it may be JJ and Sabrina. Other days it may be Stewie and B. So that's the luxury that we have.
And then you mentioned this being the second game of back-to-back. The team already has a cup game locked up. You're coming against a team you beat twice already. How much are you stressing? Just don't have complacency against this team tonight.
Yeah, no, big time. They got nothing to lose, and they're dangerous teams. We're a little tired. We had to work really, really hard yesterday to play a really tough team, physically, mentally. It found a way. So it's now about, we have to reset. Okay, we haven't, we want to host. Now we want to host. So we control our own destiny, and don't let up, regardless of their record. They've only been blown out one time, I believe. So, and we had a tough game last game. So that should give us a little sense of urgency.
Just a fun one. Today's Ellie's birthday. Have you wished Ellie a happy birthday? How are you celebrating, Ellie?
I have wished Ellie a happy birthday, and maybe I'll put a dance on for you later. We'll see. Ellie's going to teach me some steps.
Hi, Coach. One player that's gotten an uptick in minutes and also is producing those uptick in minutes is Leo. What do you think is clicking for her now compared to maybe at the start of the season?
She's more comfortable. I think, when you're a new player and especially a young player and first time playing in the WNBA, playing with some great players as well, she feels more comfortable, but her teammates feel more comfortable with her as well. So it's twofold. And then her coming out and being confident, because I think she's more than a 3 and a D. She's someone that can get into the paint for us as well. She's a big guard that we could hopefully, trying to expand her game as we move forward. But it's fun to see her to go out there and ball. I know the fouls are frustrating, but that's just a learning curve for her right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.